Did you ever think that 30 years later you would still be so hugely successful?
I probably did. You know, that the ignorance of youth, it takes a lot of bravado to think that you're going to do this. It'd be easier to talk yourself out of this kind of a career trajectory than to actually follow through with it. You know, fortunately for me, I had youth on my side and not a lot of other choices. So I was able to fulfill that dream, and in retrospect, it worked out well. I'd always said this about our career. I grew up in public, and I wasn't ever going to be that guy that was, you know, wearing eyeliner and painting his fingernails black and writing bitch on his belly at 53 years old and pretending to be 18. So because I grew up in public, you as a man, I hope, grow. And in doing so, I got more and more involved in philanthropy, and ultimately realized that in the issues of homelessness and then hunger, these were issues, especially domestically, that not only did I understand, but I didn't need a scientist to find the cure. So what...
כמו במכון גמילה. הרשת התמלאה בסיפורים על מאבקי זכויות וכסף. הוא הוחלף על ידי פיל אקס, גיטריסט עצום בפני עצמו, אבל לא כחבר רשמי בלהקה, אלא כנגן שכיר, והוא כנראה זה שינגן איתם בהופעה בארץ.
What is the band like since the departure of Richie Sambora? I mean, he was your songwriting partner for so many years.
Yeah, the dynamic's different, that's for sure. You know, in truth, people think that being in a rock band is a life sentence. And that's the way I try to put the fans at ease. Richie chose not to tour anymore. Anything that came out through the internet that were the misgivings, the untruths, I dare say the lies, that there was a fight, that it was about money, right hand to God, was not the truth. Show number 21, he just didn't show up. There was a show that night. Subsequently, 80 other shows, he chose not to show up. So we got the hint. He didn't want to do it anymore. And now he's saying it in the media that it was just that he's a single parent. It didn't thrill him. He couldn't keep up with the pace. And so he says, I'd rather walk away. And I understand. I'm not mad about it. But we are going to go on.
You about ageism in rock and roll. I know from personal experience that 53 is not that old, since we're exactly the same age, you know. But when you go on stage, do you sometimes think to yourself, one day I might be just too old for this?
Well, I have to tell you that 20 years ago, I used to hold Mick Jagger up at this place, and I held him in such high esteem. And 20 years ago, he was my benchmark to work very hard physically to be that showman. And then recently, as I was starting to ramp up, knowing I was going to do these shows and put this record out and I'm writing the next album, I was back at that house of mine and I was running up that same hill, and the Stones were playing that day, this year. And it's 20 years on. And I'm huffing and puffing going up that hill. And I said, until Mick Jagger lays down and calls it a day, I'm not going to be able to even think about it, because he's got 20 years on me. And, you know, he's the bar. And until Keith Richards and Mick Jagger say that's enough, that's not, you know, that's not time to quit yet. And as long as I can still do it and hit the high notes, you know, then I'm going to do it.
Okay, so what is the secret to longevity in this line of work?
Be true to yourself. Be honest to God, true to yourself. Fads and fashions come and go. And sometimes they're going to be much more popular than what you're thinking. But in truth, if you're true to yourself, when they come and go, you'll remain.
John Bon Jovi in New York. Looking forward to seeing you here in Tel Aviv. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for this interview, John.
Thank you. Appreciate it.